Look, the reality is that nobody wants to buy your artwork or buy artwork in general. And I know it could be a hot take because so many social media influencers post saying, "I just sold this painting for $10,000," or "I just made this artwork for $1,000 for a client," or whatever. Even though some of it could be fake, it's just for artists who are just still trying to get up there, or artists trying to make their art, full-time career, seem to misunderstand the changes that are currently happening right now. And I think the biggest influence, at least creates this feeling of like nobody wants to buy your artwork, is because nobody wants to collect or buy art. They just want to decorate. And I feel like this is the biggest thing that I've been seeing so much lately about, these pretentious, want to be aesthetic, performative influencers who just, try to decorate their whole room with this cool lighting, really minimalistic ambiance or whatever, right? I guess my point is that nowadays people just really care about how their place is going to look and feel at the same time, like creating a sanctuary rather than having something, like to resonate with. And what I mean by this is that I've seen other homes that have like these basic minimalistic color paintings. I'm talking about like really just boring colors or just small fades or whatever, you name it. And I think to myself, like, why do they always get these paintings that don't really have any, feeling or soul to it, right? And I think the biggest thing is the reason why is that they just want something that matches their sofa or matches their, their color theme, or something that doesn't pop out too much in, like, the whole house. They just want something that kind of blends in with it. And many artists, I think, seem to misunderstand this because some people just don't care about the soul or expression of the art that you do, or some of them don't care about the cartoons you make or the illustration art you do. They just want the feeling of home. And people take this personally, but even I also have come across a situation where I worked so hard for a painting. I'm talking about maybe weeks or even months, and no one bought it. But it's not, their fault or my fault. It's just my art doesn't resonate with them or fits in their home, and that's just the reality of it. But I also feel like that plays a huge role into why no one wants to buy artwork, or at least certain people, is that they don't have a name for themselves or have a platform. And many artists that I see always argue saying that I make this cool artwork, but no one wants to buy it. All people compliment it, but no one wants to, purchase it or just flake or whatever, right? But the thing is that nowadays it's about branding, and that's just the truth of it. Think about a Picasso, right? Picasso or Keith Haring, where whatever they did, people loved it because they'll spend millions for it because it's them. They grew, they had this, they grew their platform. They like grew through like not just expression, but the reputation, how they got the attention of the audience, and that's all about what it is now. It's getting attention. And many people could argue saying, well, art's not about getting attention. It's about how you express yourself and all this, and that's fine. I get it. Like each their own. But for artists who are really trying to get up there, sometimes the industry kind of avoids talking about business or marketing or whatever because they want you to have the feeling and expression towards it. And I feel like that's something that's kind of be not propaganda, but brainwash, because you need to make a name for yourself. You need to have a brand. And if you spend more money, you become like a starving artist, and you're trying to avoid that. And that's what many people don't buy from just artists who are talented. They buy people who have a name for themselves, who've been known, who've done this. It's like, like in soccer terms, everyone knows who Lionel Messi is or whatever because of what he does. But there's other great soccer players like him, but they know him because of what he's done, and he created that reputation. But I also think the biggest thing that plays a huge role, at least for beginner or artists who are trying to get up there, is how much they charge for their paintings. And I can't stress this enough because I remember going to my first exhibition, at least in Houston, and I worked on this painting for probably about a month or so. I mean, I made so many mistakes or whatever. I mean, it's bound to happen. But I knew the reality of it is that no one was willing to buy this for $1,000, especially for my first exhibition. And I remember doing it, and I sold it for $400. And luckily, I was like, wow, someone. It's not. I'm surprised someone bought it. I'm like, hey, this actually was a good price. It worked. Someone actually purchased it, and I met all these other artists who are out there. Some of them it's their first time doing it. Some of them are making it a career. Some of them just for fun or hobbies, and that's great. But for those who are really trying to like build something off of it, I remember seeing their artwork, and they were selling for $1,000 or maybe a little bit more. But I think the one thing that caught my attention more was that they show me their social media page, and there's like nothing in there. It's like the first time, and I'm so confused. I'm like, what exactly does this create so much value to your work? And many artists might disagree, saying you can't judge people for what they're doing. You don't know them. You don't know how long it took them, and that's great. I get it. But I'm speaking from a client or person buyer perspective, where they're like, hey, they look at your work, they look at your reputation, they're like, oh, okay, well, it seems like you're starting. That's great. I'm I want someone who's been up there already. I want someone who has a name because we trust them. And many people had, turned heads against me because of what I said, but it's true. No one wants to buy someone they don't know. Think about like Picasso, Keith Haring. I mean, they're still auctioning off their paintings because even after they're dead, because of the things they've done before, because of their name, and they sell for millions of dollars. And I feel that's the same way when you're, have a platform where people are able to give you opportunities and chances because they know you now, they have heard from you, they trust you now. And I think that's one thing when it comes to selling your stuff, for at least beginner artists who are trying to get up there, is that you need to understand your worth and what you're bringing to the table that makes it worth it that much. And if you feel about like, hey, this is what I feel like, by all means, go for it. But sometimes you need to take a step back from ego and pride and really understand, hey, why is none of my stuff selling? No matter how great it is or no matter how simple it is, you need to understand what value you're bringing to people who want to buy it or want to feel connected to you. Because if you're an artist who wants to be pretentious, saying, no, I don't care if they're connected to me, this is only me, I only want to do it for myself, I don't care for other people, and trying to make a business out of it, good luck with that. Because with business or marketing, people are mostly going to be involved with you because of feeling, not because of the things you've done sometimes. Yes, now and then people do that. But think about artists who have done so much great work. Doesn't matter what creative thing they've done, but how many people have left or stopped, engaging with them because of the way their attitude is. And I know many artists who are like this because they're like, I don't care for anyone else. I only care for myself. I only care for what I do. If no one likes it, I don't like it. But that attitude is not going to take you anywhere. And trust me, I met many artists like that, and they ended up not continuing what they're doing because they weren't seeing success. And I mean, prove me right or prove me wrong. I'm just saying from my perspective, someone who's been trying to sell my art, but also trying to understand the industry of how things work. But then again, that's just my opinion, so who cares what I think, right?